Alice and the Doors of Time. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Alice, known for her insatiable curiosity. She believed that everything in the world held a secret. Every leaf, every cloud, and every whisper of the wind. But one day, she discovered something far greater than she had ever imagined. One morning, while wandering through her garden, Alice spotted an old pocket watch lying on the ground. It was shiny and old, as if it held the essence of time itself. As she picked it up, strange symbols appeared on its surface, and with each tick, it whispered to her, "Welcome to the doors of time." The moment Alice touched the watch, the world spun, colors blurred, and in the blink of an eye, she found herself standing before 3 massive doors. Each door seemed to guard a secret, the past, the present, and the future. Alice's heart raced as she looked at the doors. After a moment of thought, she whispered to herself, "The past seems like the best place to start." Slowly, she stepped forward and opened the door of the past. The loop of the past. When Alice stepped through the door, she found herself in a familiar yet different world. She was in Wonderland, but everything was brighter and more peaceful than she remembered. The trees were greener, the flowers more vibrant, and the people seemed happier. But something was off. Alice took a step forward, and then she took the same step again. The world around her seemed to be stuck in a loop. Narrator. Alice quickly realized that something was wrong. Everything was repeating. It was as if time was frozen in a never-ending cycle. Soon, Alice met a young Mad Hatter. However, he too was trapped in the loop. The same words, the same actions, over and over again. Alice knew that to escape this world, she had to find a way to break the cycle. But how? After a while, Alice realized that the loop was a puzzle. The past was repeating because no one was learning from their mistakes. The key was to understand the errors of the past and correct them. Working with the young Hatter, Alice managed to break the loop by learning from history. Narrator. The beauty of the past is that it teaches us. But to remain stuck in it, to dwell on it, is to fall into the trap of time, thought Alice. The frozen world of the present. Alice reached the second door with a sense of unease. The door of the present seemed cold, as if it led to a lifeless world. She hesitated, but stepped through the door, finding herself in a world where time had come to a halt. Birds were frozen in mid-flight, raindrops hung motionless in the air, and everything was trapped in a single moment. Time had stopped. Nothing moved. Alice feared that if she didn't act, she would become frozen too, trapped in this still world forever. Alice made her way toward a massive clock tower. Inside, she found the Master of Time, who controlled this world. Time had been stopped, and the Master believed that stillness was the answer to all chaos. Alice, however, knew that time could not stay frozen forever. As she navigated the giant gears and mechanisms of the clock, Alice realized how precious time truly was. It couldn't be stopped. It had to flow. To stop time was to stop life itself. In a daring race against time, Alice managed to restart the great clock, restoring the flow of time in this world. Time is a force that cannot be halted. It must move forward, or the world would cease to exist. The dark face of the future. Finally, Alice stood before the last door, filled with a sense of dread. The door of the future loomed ominously. When she opened it, she stepped into a cold, metallic world. Everything was mechanical, people were fused with machines, and emotions had been wiped away. The future was controlled by the time thief. The time thief had shaped this future, turning people into soulless machines driven only by efficiency. Alice realized she had to fight for this world, or risk losing herself to it. The time thief tried to force Alice to accept this future, but she knew the importance of understanding time rather than controlling it. In a final battle, the time thief twisted and bent time itself, but Alice, using her intellect and courage, fought back. She bent time in her favor and freed the future from the thief's grasp, restoring hope and emotion to the world. Conclusion: returning home. When Alice stepped back through the final door, she knew she had changed. As she held the pocket watch in her hand, she realized how valuable time was. She couldn't control it, but she could make the most of every moment. Each second, every choice mattered. Time, Alice thought, is not just something we live in. It's shaped by the choices we make.